My office sat high above the city, quiet and clean. The glass walls showed a wide view of Lagos, busy and bright below me. I had built this place from nothing. Long nights, hard work, no help. Now people knew my name. My company was growing fast, and for once, life felt steady.
My phone buzzed again on the desk.
I turned it face down, trying to focus on the file in front of me. Another buzz. Then another. The sound started to feel louder each time, like it was calling only me. I picked it up, ready to block the number, but something made me pause. A new message came in. Please answer. It's important. My chest felt tight. I didn't like the way my hands suddenly felt cold. I told myself it was nothing, just another random caller. But deep down, something didn't feel right. The phone rang again. This time, I answered. Hello. My voice was calm, but my heart was not. For a second, there was only silence. Then a breath.
Soft. Shaky.
Is this you? I froze. That voice. Older.
Slower.
But still the same. I didn't speak. I couldn't. My mind was racing, pulling up memories I had tried to forget. The long silence. The empty years. The day they walked away. How did you get this number? I finally asked. Another pause. We've been looking for you. The words hit me hard. Looking for me? After all this time? My grip on the phone tightened. I stared out at the city, but I wasn't seeing it anymore. I was somewhere else. Somewhere I didn't want to go back to. More messages started to come in, one after the other. Names I had not seen in years. Names I had buried deep. I leaned back in my chair, my jaw tight, my thoughts loud. They found me after all these years. Before everything broke, life felt simple. We lived in a small house that always smelled like food. My mom would hum while she cooked, and my dad would sit by the door, reading the same old newspaper again and again. I had a younger sister who followed me everywhere. We shared everything, even when we didn't want to. At night, we would sit close together and watch TV, laughing at things that were not even that funny. I thought that was what life would always be like. Every morning, my mom would wake me up early for school. She would fix my clothes and tell me to be good. My dad would walk me to the bus stop when he had time. On weekends, we would stay home, talk, and just be together. It wasn't perfect, but it felt safe. Then little things started to change. The house got quieter. My dad stopped reading his newspaper. He would just sit there, staring at nothing. My mom stopped humming. She moved around the house faster, like she was always in a hurry. At night, the laughter faded, replaced by low voices behind closed doors. They started arguing. At first, it was small, short talks that ended fast. Then it grew louder. Words turned sharp. I didn't always understand what they were saying, but I heard enough. Money, bills, stress. My sister would look at me with wide eyes, and I would tell her it was okay, even when I wasn't sure. Dinner times became quiet. Some nights, no one spoke at all. Other nights, voices rose again, breaking the silence. I would sit there, staring at my plate, wishing things would go back to how they were. But they didn't. The house that once felt warm started to feel cold. Not because of the weather, but because something between them had changed. I didn't know it then, but I was already the easiest one to lose. The change didn't happen all at once. It came slowly, like a crack in a wall that kept getting bigger. One evening, my dad came home earlier than usual. He didn't say much. He just sat down and stared at his hands. My mom asked him what was wrong, but he didn't answer at first. Then he said it in a low voice.
He lost his job.
After that, everything felt heavy. Money became the center of every talk. Bills stacked up on the table. My mom started counting every coin. My dad stayed home more, but he didn't feel present. He moved around the house like a shadow, quiet and distant. The arguments got worse.
They were louder now.
Longer too. Words flew across the room like sharp stones. I would hear things break sometimes. A plate, a cup, once even a chair. My sister would cry, and I would hold her close, trying to block out the noise. But I couldn't block it out for myself. I started to notice things I hadn't seen before. The way my mom looked tired all the time. The way my dad avoided looking at us. The way they stopped sitting together, even in silence. It felt like we were no longer one family. We were just people in the same house. I stayed quiet. I watched. I listened. I learned when to speak and when to disappear. I stopped asking for things. I stopped expecting anything.
It felt safer that way.
Sometimes, I would sit alone and think about how things used to be. I tried to hold on to those memories, but they felt far away now, like they belonged to someone else. One night, I heard my name during an argument. Just once. Then silence. I didn't know what it meant, but I felt it deep inside. Something was changing, and I had no control over it. They were already deciding who mattered most. I just didn't know I wasn't on the list. The day it happened felt quiet at first.
No shouting. No loud voices.
Just a strange calm that didn't feel right. My mom called me into the room. My dad was already there, standing by the window. He didn't turn to look at me. "Pack your things," my mom said. I blinked. "Why?" "It's just for a while," she replied, her voice flat. "You'll stay somewhere else." "Where?" I asked, my chest starting to feel tight. She didn't answer right away. My dad let out a slow breath. "It's better this way," he said. "For who?" I asked. Silence filled the room. My mom picked up a small bag and placed it on the bed. "You don't need much. Just clothes." I stood there, not moving. Did I do something wrong? "No," she said quickly. Too quickly. "It's not about that." "Then what is it about?" My dad finally turned to face me. His eyes looked tired, but not soft. "Things are hard right now. We have to make choices." Choices. My voice shook. "So you're choosing to send me away?" He didn't answer. My mom stepped closer. "You'll be fine. You're strong." I wanted to believe her, but her eyes didn't match her words. I packed slowly, folding each piece of clothing like it would change something. My hands were shaking, but I kept going. No one helped me. The car ride was quiet. I sat in the back seat, holding my bag close. My mom stared out the window. My dad kept his eyes on the road. No music. No talking. Just the sound of the engine, and my own thoughts getting louder. We stopped in front of a small building I didn't know. "This is it," my dad said. I looked at them. "When are you coming back?" My mom opened her door. "We'll call you." "You promise?" She didn't answer. I stepped out of the car, my legs feeling weak. I stood there, waiting, hoping one of them would say something, anything. But they didn't. The car door closed. The engine started. And then they drove away. They didn't look back. I stood there, watching until the car disappeared, the silence around me louder than ever. That was the last time I saw them as my parents. The building was not a home. It was loud, crowded, and cold in a way that had nothing to do with the weather. People moved in and out, but no one stayed long enough to care. The first night, I sat on a small bed, holding my bag, waiting for someone to come get me. No one did. Days turned into weeks. I learned the rules fast. Speak less. Ask for nothing. Stay out of trouble. The other kids kept to themselves. Some were angry. Some were quiet. Most just looked tired. At first, I believed my parents would call. Every time a phone rang, I looked up. Every time a staff member walked in, I felt a small spark of hope. I told myself it would happen soon. They said they would call. But the days kept passing. Sometimes, people came and took a child away. A new family. A new start. I would watch from a distance, my chest tight, wondering when it would be my turn. It never was. I got used to being overlooked. Meals came and went. Birthdays passed like any other day. No one asked how I felt. No one noticed when I stayed quiet for too long. Then I was moved. New place. New faces. Same feeling. I stopped trying to remember names. I stopped asking questions. Each move made it easier to let go. Easier not to care. Hope turned into confusion. Confusion turned into something harder to name. Then one day, it all went quiet inside me. I stopped expecting anything. I stopped waiting. After a while, you stop waiting because waiting starts to feel embarrassing. The change came when I stopped looking for it. I had just moved again. New place. Same rules. Same silence. I kept to myself like always. I did my chores, went to school, and came back without speaking much. One afternoon, I stayed behind after class. Not because I had to, but because I didn't want to go back yet. The classroom was quiet. I sat there, drawing lines on a piece of paper, trying to pass time. You like numbers? I looked up. It was my teacher. He stood by the door, watching me. I didn't answer at first. I wasn't used to people asking me things. I guess, I said. He walked over and picked up my paper. It wasn't much, just small notes and simple work I had been doing on my own. You're good at this, he said. I shrugged. It's nothing. He shook his head.
No.
It's something. That was new. No one had said that to me before. The next day, he gave me extra work. Not as punishment, but as a chance. He showed me how to solve harder problems. He explained things slowly, like it mattered that I understood. At first, I made mistakes. A lot of them. But he didn't get angry. He just told me to try again.
So I did.
For the first time, I felt in control of something. Numbers made sense. They didn't leave. They didn't change their mind. If I worked at it, I got better. And I did get better. Days turned into weeks, and I started to see it. I wasn't just passing time anymore. I was learning,
Growing.
becoming something more than the quiet kid in the corner. One day, he looked at me and said, "You can build a future with this." A future. That word stayed with me. For the first time, I wasn't the kid nobody wanted. I was someone becoming something. I didn't become successful overnight. After I left that place, life was still hard. I took small jobs.
Cleaning.
Carrying boxes. Anything that paid. Some days I worked long hours and still had little to show for it. I made mistakes. I failed more than once. There were nights I felt like giving up. But I didn't. I kept thinking about what my teacher said. About building a future.
So I held on to that.
I kept learning. I read books when I could. I practiced what I knew. I stayed up late, working through problems, even when I was tired. Slowly, things started to change. I got a better job. Not big, but better. I saved what I could. I stayed focused.
I didn't waste time. Every small step mattered.
Then came my first real win. It wasn't huge, but it was mine. I earned enough to move into a small place of my own.
No noise.
No fear.
Just space to think and grow.
That moment felt bigger than anything before it. From there, I kept going. One job led to another. One chance opened the door to more. I learned new skills. I took risks. Some worked, some didn't. But each one taught me something. Over time, people started to notice. They trusted me. They gave me more responsibility. My work grew. My income grew. My life changed. I built something steady. Then something strong. Then something that could stand on its own. I looked back one day and barely recognized the person I used to be. The quiet kid who waited for someone to care was gone. I didn't need anyone to pick me anymore. I stopped trying to be chosen and started choosing my own life. The calls didn't stop. Every day, my phone lit up with their names. Messages came one after another. Please answer. We need to talk. It's urgent. I read them, but I didn't reply. Not at first. I had waited years to hear from them. Now, they couldn't stop reaching out. It felt strange. Part of me wanted to ignore it all. Another part wanted to know why. But I stayed calm. I didn't rush. I didn't react. I chose when to respond. Before I answered, I looked into it. Quietly.
Carefully.
I asked questions. I checked what I could. It didn't take long to see the truth. They were struggling again. Money problems.
Debts.
Things falling apart, just like before.
But this time, they knew about me.
They knew I had built something. They knew I could help. That's why they came back. Not for me. For what I had. I sat with that truth for a while. It didn't hurt the way it used to. It just made things clear. So I set a time. A place. My choice. When I walked into the room, they were already there. Older now. Tired. They looked at me like they didn't know what to say. For a moment, no one spoke. Then my mom broke the silence. "We've missed you." I said nothing. My dad stepped forward. Things were hard back then. We did what we had to do. I looked at him calm. You left.
He sighed.
We had no choice. There's always a choice, I said. They started to explain. Words about stress, about pressure, about how they thought it was the best thing at the time. I listened, but I didn't let it move me. I already knew the truth. Finally, my mom said it. We need help. There it was.
Clear.
Simple.
Honest.
I took a breath and looked at both of them. You didn't lose me, I said quietly. You left me, and I didn't build this life for you to come back and use it. The room went still. For the first time, I saw it in their eyes. They understood. And I walked away.